Welcome to Sikbaggers YouTube channel. I'm Steve, and today I'm going to be showing you a really cool item for the street light over here. It's made by CIRO3D, and also we're going to be talking about some channel updates that's going on. So this is the video that you want to watch to see what's going to be happening with the Sikbagger YouTube channel. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that coming up next. Just real quick here, I want to talk about the YouTube channel and what's going on with Sikbaggers. Yes, we've posted on Instagram and Facebook, kind of all over the place, even here on the YouTube channel about some live stream stuff that's coming up, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. And also, we're getting everything in for moto vlogging. We've got just about everything in, all the GoPros, cameras, wires, batteries, all that good stuff, and we're still just kind of waiting on the helmet, so stay tuned for that. But today we're going to be installing the LED lighted Horizon windshield trim, and it's specifically for the street glide. Now, if you guys watched our videos in the past, you know that we put the Horizon windshield trim on the road glide, but there's a specific one made for the street glide. I had a customer come over here and saw them on the road glide and asked me if they had anything like that for the street glide, and of course they do. And I'll put the links to everything that you need to do this install down in the description, so make sure you check the description down there. You click that link and it'll take you straight over to CIRO3D, right to the part, and you can check it out to make sure it's going to fit your bike. So we're just going to take a quick look, see what we have in the box here. So after going over everything, guys, no real big shock there that everything that we need is actually installed with the kit. CIRO's real good about doing that, guys. Everything that I've ever ordered, purchased for the road glide, got for the street glide, or customers' bikes have always came with everything it needed. So that's what I've always liked about CIRO, is including the full color instructions here, guys. These are no-brainer instructions. You literally can't mess this up if you just follow along with their directions here, and it has pictures. So with the pictures, you really can't mess this up. This windshield trim you can get with or without LEDs. This is the one with LEDs, and you can see them right here. It's a very, very low profile, just like the road glide. It looks like it's just a normal windshield trim when you don't have it on, but when you turn it on, you've got white running lights right here, and then it's also sequential turn signals. And if you don't know what sequential is, it's actually pretty cool. Instead of just blinking solid amber, it actually has an amber lights that come on, and they actually run in the direction that you've hit your blinker. What I like so far about this piece is that it's really hefty. I really feel like I have something in my hand. And one thing I'm noticing real quick, I've installed literally hundreds of windshield trims on bikes. This one has a lip on top right here, and we'll show that after we get it installed. But this is actually going to go back to your windshield and almost just kind of blend in with your windshield, I'm assuming. So we'll see after we get it installed today. But all of the other windshield trim I've ever put on has just been like this piece at the bottom here, just a flat piece of metal. So that's actually really cool. You will get new bolts that you'll have to use. They're longer, and it's because of the thickness of this windshield trim, so you'll have to replace the bolts there, but they've actually included them, and they're actually black. And because we got the black trim, the screws are black. I don't know how many pieces I ordered for that road glide sitting over there, black parts from different companies that came with chrome screws. CIRO actually provides matching screws. So if you get these in chrome, you're going to get chrome. If you get it in black, you're going to get black. So another very, very nice touch. You're going to get 3 plastic washers, which you'll use with those bolts, and you'll get plenty of zip ties. So if you're out of those, here they are. You got them right here. You got dielectric grease. Everything I've ordered from CIRO has the dielectric grease in here. It's an anti-corrosion grease, and you're going to want to put that on your connections. It's going to keep it a little bit more waterproof than it already is. These plugs have a little rubber gasket around them. They're red. Hopefully you can see that right there. It's a little, all of them are like that, but it's plug and play, guys. But with the dielectric grease, if you get any moisture or anything like that, this stuff is absolutely going to block it, and it makes for a better connection. It's actually specifically made for electronics. So without further ado, let's get over here and get this street glide tore apart so we can get this installed. So taking the outer fairing off of the street glide, guys, is very simple if you've never done this. We're looking at the inside of the inner fairing here. On the outside corner right here, you're going to have a bolt, and right down here at the bottom, you're going to have a bolt. You take those 2 out. You're going to do that on both sides. Leave the windshield trim for last, because you want to be in front of the bike. You don't want to take these bolts out and then the fairing just falls off in the floor. Now this is a T25 Torx bit in here, and usually you can just put an extension on it and use it as a screwdriver. These normally aren't super tight. You can get right down in here, pull that bolt out of the bottom. You just want to repeat that process on the other side. Now this customer already has a windshield trim on there, but it's going to be the same whether or not you have one on there or not. 3 screws right here. You want to make sure that you cover up your front fender, because if you're a dumbass like me and you drop stuff all the time, you definitely don't want to bang your fender. So I always start with the outside bolts first, leave this one for last. So you're kind of standing in front of the bike when you pull this, and you can pull the whole outer fairing off. So when I get to this one, I just run it out a little bit, just make sure everything's loose where I can actually put my tool down and use both hands to grab the windshield, get it out, get the fairing off. As long as I can turn that by hand, that's enough. So once you have that loose, you can actually pull your windshield out just like that, set that off to the side. So this guy here has the pocket windshield thing. It goes on the inside of the windshield. It's got 3 pockets in it. But with these bolts loose here, you can actually go ahead and pull that out as well. You can see that it's installed just like the windshield is. And then all we're left with is this bolt. This bolt really right now is the only thing holding that outer fairing on. You can actually hold it up there, get it out of the way. Once you get here, you just lift up the fairing and pull it towards you, but you have to reach down on the inside and unplug the headlight. So don't just jerk it off here and walk away with it. And with the auxiliary lights that he has installed, makes it a little harder to get it off. Get it out of the way. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying this free video. If you like this video, hit the like button, and if you want to check out the channel, we got 120 something bagger related videos. There's a ton. Check out the channel and make sure you hit that subscribe button, guys. That's what keeps us coming out here into the shop and doing these videos for you. All of our videos are always free all the time. We don't ask for donations. We don't do Patreon. We don't do any secret squirrel Facebook things where you have to pay us money to join and all. Everything is free all the time on this channel. So make sure you check us out. Find us over on Instagram, find us over on Facebook. If you want to get a hold of some bagger swag, that's where you can find it over on Facebook. We do a pre-order about 5-6 times a year. Put your order in, you get t-shirts, hoodies, koozies, all that good stuff. But find us over there. But I'm gonna let you guys get back to the video. I just wanted to stop a second and let you guys know that I appreciate the hell out of every one of you guys. Back to it. So the inside of this guy's fairing is obviously loaded with amps and all kinds of wiring. We don't have to worry about any of that stuff because we're actually gonna hook this windshield trim right to the actual blinker wires that are down on the side. So let's move over there and get those out. Now we go back to the inside of the bike again. Right here you've got a acorn nut and an acorn nut here that holds this blinker assembly on. It's very easy to remove. Once you get this undone, you're going to want to pull it out, and there's wires connected from these lights. Now whether or not you just have a bullet light like this or the bullet light auxiliary light combo, it doesn't matter. There's going to be a wire in here with a plug, and so when you start to pull this out, try to feed that plug out and get that unplugged, and then you can just take that assembly right off. Now you want to do is just pull this out just like that. You got this little clip right here. You just kind of pinch this end in, unplug it just like that. So what we're going to do now is take our supplied wiring harness from CIRO. See, it's got a very, very long end here and a little Y splitter there. We're going to take the Y splitter in the female end, put a little dielectric grease on there. We're going to get it plugged in just like that. Then we're going to feed this clip and this long one back through this hole. Now this long one is going to come up to the inside of the inner fairing. So we just want to pull that through to the inside of the inner fairing, and then that leaves us with the female end to put our light back on. We're going to reach up here and plug this back in just like it was plugged in before. Listen for the click, make sure that it's fully connected. And we're going to put this back on the bike. And you want to make sure that you feed that wire back through that hole, because if you have any wire hanging out, which you can't see on the inner fairing there, if there's any of that poking out there, so you want to make sure you feed all of that wire back through there and just leave that little bit out, because when you put this back on, you can't see in here, but if you've got any of that wire poking out, you can inevitably, you're going to pinch that wire on the edge of this when you tighten this back down. Now you just want to repeat that process on the other side of the bike. So what I've done now is just pulled the wires up through the inner fairing here and zip tied them off with the included zip ties that you get from CIRO. Find a couple of wires in here that feel pretty sturdy, zip tie those off. Because you have to remember now, when you're pulling your outer fairing off, you have to reach in there to undo your headlight. You also have to reach up here and actually unplug your blinkers as well. Before I button all this stuff up though, I'm going to lay the windshield trim up here, actually plug it in, make sure everything's working correctly, and then we'll get all this buttoned up. So if we just lay the trim up there, get it plugged in, we're not going to do the dielectric grease just yet on these. We're just going to plug it in, make sure everything's working. So we've got both sides plugged in. Just reach over, kick the bike on. We've got our nice clean white LEDs that run across here, and I'll hit the blinkers to make sure everything's working properly from down here. We want to hit the blinker and not only make sure that this is working, but the stuff that we took apart down here. So we've got our auxiliary lights and our blinker. Everything's working correctly there. Go to this side. We've got the sequential turn signal here. Everything's working there. So now that you're sure that everything is working correctly, you can go ahead and button up the front of the bike. So once you have your outer fairing set back up there, you can just reach in, plug them into the top. Make sure you do your dielectric grease like we talked about earlier. Now this is the part where you want to feed your wires up and through the edge over here. One like that. It's just going to wrap right around the edge and go into the inside. You want to make sure that you've got it where you're not going to pinch the wire. So I go ahead and put the center bolt in, but I don't run it all the way in, just enough to kind of hold everything in place while I put my 4 inner fairing bolts back in. So I didn't show you this when I took the outer fairing off, but on the Street Glide you've got a long bolt and a short bolt on each side. The long bolt actually goes in the top and the short bolt goes in the bottom. So we're going to get these back installed and then we can finish up the windshield. Now once we have those 4 bolts in and tightened, we can actually loosen this one. We're going to slide our glove box back in. Now if you don't have the glove box, guys, this is where you would just put your windshield back in. Pretty self-explanatory. And then we're going to slide our windshield in. And we can go ahead and run that center one back in. Now from here you want to make sure that your wire is tucked in right here. There should be a little gap where the wire comes out and goes down in your inner fairing. You want to make sure that when you're putting these windshield bolts in that you don't actually pinch that wire. Now I'll be honest with you guys, it's a little harder when you've got a brawl. You got the thickness of the brawl, you've got the thickness of the windshield, and you've got the thickness of the bags that go on here in the back of the windshield. So it's a little tougher to get these in, but these screws are plenty long enough to use all of that stuff. The biggest thing is just making sure all of that stuff is lined up, and you can see that brass grommet in the inside there. Don't over tighten these when you put them in. If you over tighten these and you twist that brass grommet out on the inside of your inner fairing, you're going to have a bad day. And then you have to get online and you have to buy a repair kit to actually replace those. So the biggest thing is, like I said, is just making sure it's all lined up. Push the screw all the way through. Tighten it down, but do not cross thread it or over tighten it. You just tighten it like that by hand until it's snug and it's plenty tight enough. So that's pretty much it, guys. Pretty easy install. Doesn't take a whole long time. I guess if I wasn't shooting a video, I could probably have one of these installed in less than 20 minutes. What really stands out about this windshield trim is the lip at the top, of course, that kind of blends into your windshield. Looks really nice. You don't have that big gap there anymore like you do on the stock ones. And if you put a normal windshield trim on here, it's usually just flat and it doesn't cover this area. So that's really cool with this. You can get this in black or chrome. Nice hefty piece, really nice clean white lights on here with the sequential turn signals. I really dig the sequential turn signals. We actually have those on the Road Glide, and we have them on the back of the Street Glide as well up on the bags. Just turning one of the blinkers on, you can see how quick it changes, and then it fades back into the bright white lights. So adding extra white LED lights in the front is always going to benefit you as a rider. I don't care what kind of bike you're on. The more lights you can add to the front, the better people can see you. And to me, that's worth its weight in gold right there. So pretty cool design, guys. Nice heavy metal trim on the outside here. Like I said, chrome or black, polycarbonate lens. If I kick the bike off, you can actually see that just kind of blends right in. You don't even really notice it till you kick the bike on. If you want to get your hands on one of these, don't forget the link is down in the description below. You open it up, It'll show you the link. Click on that link. It'll take you straight to this piece. We have these Horizon lights over on the Road Glide as well. I absolutely love them. If you want to check out that video, you can hit that link up there. It's popping out right now, and it'll take you straight over to that video. If you have a Road Glide, maybe you want the same thing on the front of your bike. This one, like I said, is specifically for the 14 up street glides. I hope this video helped you guys and showed you what it looks like on the bike, and also how easy it is to install. Don't forget about the stuff coming up on Sikbaggers YouTube channel, the live events, and then also the moto vlogging. We hope to see you guys there. And while you're here, check out the rest of the channel. We got a ton of bagger related stuff. We got a video popping up over here and down here, but don't forget to hit that subscribe button over here if you want to see more videos like this. I'm going to get out of here and get my butt back to work. Until the next video, as always, be safe, keep your knees in the breeze.